Hello, welcome back to my channel, Checks Capture Shreds. Today's video, we're going to be doing another Learn the Openings, and this is something we've actually done already, and it's going to be a little variation we've done. So it's going to be on the Dutch today for black, and it's going to be the Leningrad Dutch. So we've obviously gone over it previously a few months ago, but now we're going to go in this a little bit more in depth, as this is a very good opening and definitely part of a Dutch that I think you should learn a bit more of. So what actually is the Leningrad Dutch, if you can remember. So is d4, f5, and then we'll have something like this, and we're going to be Franchettoing this bishop. So we're actually going to talk about how we get with this position. Now, obviously, we're going to be castling kingside. It's almost like a kind of King's Indian quick castling sort of thing. Just instead we're pushing f5. Now, what's actually the benefits of f5? Well, f5, as you can see here, attacks g4 and that attacks e4, and it's already a great thing to push. Now, if I just push pawn and show you when we castle, this rook is obviously in line with this pawn, and it's very much ready to push very quickly as well when we get other key attackers into the play. Also, now this is kind of a half hypermodern opening as well, because we're actually using at the minute pieces to attack the centre, even though we have got one pawn that is attacking here as well. But going for that, we're actually going to be playing these two moves here, d6 and c6. These are the two key moves into the Leningrad that we'll be going over right now. So the kind of thing, when we're playing exactly this, is I'm just trying to show you the at least kind of idea that we want. And after a while, you see, we get these two out here, and then we're going to have actually our knight here. We're going to cover our bishop. And the reason for this is we're attacking one square soon. So now try and find it. It's using these two right now to do something. And after I play this, we're going to play the move Queen e8. And this is very much played in the Dutch a lot, because this is actually, without this pawn here, sometimes you go Queen h5 straight away as well after this, as that's part of the Dutch that you attack this pawn, but obviously we can't do that in this one. But hopefully you found it now. The whole point of this is we're trying to play e5. e5 is the biggest thing in the in this Dutch Leningrad that we're trying to do for the middle game. Now here, if I was to play this, we look very much powered here. I would say if we take, as you see here, we're in quite a good position. We've got a nice little double line onto here. But the key thing is if they don't take, and this is where it gets really good for us. If they don't take and they just decide to, maybe try and move a rook or something, we have this move over here. So it's actually very good, as obviously we're taking the knight, but we have this pawn chain that is very, very near unstoppable. The only things that can actually go is now f3, which obviously completely ruins their structure. And just like it messes their bishop up normally. This bishop normally also may get messed up unless they've gone this way because of this pawn. Maybe they're over here and it's still quite difficult. This knight obviously is in trouble because of this pawn, and this knight is almost in trouble, and these rooks also can't get out because of this, so maybe with the queen. So this is kind of the aim we're going for. Now there is a few flaws I would say we got to remember. Remember to kind of counter. So if I go back a little bit here, now this move can happen a lot, and the reason being is if we don't really look at it and we just do this. Now when it's a queen, it's okay, but this is actually check, and we've got to be careful with how we kind of go against this. Now luckily we can just move the king in some cases, but obviously they can use this as an attack. And you could obviously try something like this as well, but it might close up stuff if you can get lucky with it. But in certain positions, you might have to struggle with trying to do stuff. I would say try and push maybe something d5, and maybe change your game of maybe just going e6 after to do all of this. And what you'll see is this bishop becomes very, very bad after a long time. Now, what I would say we could do with it is, obviously if we do our little thing here, then it might actually be slightly useful later on is if I just make a few moves to do that again here, and we get this. After a while, now they've got to move the knight, and we move our knight. This is also a key thing as well. After we get away from it, it'll always be quite good to go there. We can actually get our bishop into this line. This is what we need to try and do. It's our best bet, as our bishop looks actually quite good in this position, and it's actually very protecting of this, as these pawns aren't really going to help do anything on this side. So it's quite nice. So not really too much else to go on. This is an amazing opening, in my opinion, for something that straight away looks like it attacks. You know, it's 0.5 points down already, 0.6. And I think, obviously, there is some, you know, kind of ideas that maybe make this a bit bad, that if white plays with best play could like create some sort of annoyance. But I would say in general here, if played right, you know, we're looking at, obviously this doesn't even work like a Queen's Gambit style because it's just blocked. And also we can go aggressive, we can play stuff like c5 if we want to. It's not a specific thing, but that's kind of like a system almost to wanting to play e5. And this actually can almost be better, because if we force them to d5, they're the ones already blocked in, we like the close game. This can actually help us, you know, maybe we want to play positional, but exactly, this is what I was about to say as well. It's a very positional game. We need to make sure we get our pieces out, we need to make sure we develop as quick as we can, and we use our pawns. Make sure this king doesn't get too messed up with this file, or this diagonal, sorry, and get every piece out as quick as you can so they don't become super blocked. I would say going into the middle game, end game sort of area, what you'll see is the middle and the centre here just completely open. This side should hopefully at least have these two pawns and hopefully these two pieces. I would say this bishop we need to try and trade off, and I'd say this queen will probably end up around here or around this sort of area, like this, I don't know, something like that. And obviously this knight can go wherever it may please. So that is the Leningrad Dutch. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. So thank you and bye bye.